Good Friday or happy Friday, everyone, I should say. I was going to say good evening, but happy Friday, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic week. Today, I wanted to hop in here and just chat a little bit about you possibly being afraid. And you're like, what am I afraid of? I'm not afraid of anything. Afraid of your numbers, afraid of understanding what your numbers mean, and afraid of taking the time to really dive into your business. And I can relate to this. I remember early on, people saying you have to understand your numbers, you need to understand what they mean and how to put them all together and how they all tie together. And I remember being like, it's not that important. I'll just do more work. I'll do more sales. I'll wait for the next big job. I'm going to hire this next big crew leader or next great employee, and things are going to just be better. But it never happened. It never came. The next job come and then run into problems. That next employee comes and it works out great for a little while, and things didn't work out. And it wasn't really until we took the time to sit down and spend the time and learn our numbers, learn what they are, learn what they mean, how they go together, how they tie everything together, and how they can create that profitability in your business. And again, we just see so many landscapers are just afraid of it. And I'm here to tell you, there's no need to be afraid of them. It is something that you can learn. Don't think I was never good at math. I never could understand that stuff in school. And it's just not me. I'm not that person. I'm here to tell you, you can learn this. And tonight I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what some of those numbers are and how they can kind of go together, and how you can actually sit down and start to learn these numbers, because it is something very, very vital to your business. You will never, ever grow your business well and keep growing if you don't start understanding your numbers and managing these numbers and monitoring these numbers, because it's just vital to your business. And we see so many landscapers just in our area here that we're in Northwest Indiana. They come and go. They're great at their craft. They're great at, building that beautiful wall and sidewalks and all that stuff, ponds and water features and all that good stuff. And they're great at that stuff. They know how to mow. They know how to keep the customers happy, but they just don't understand their financials. They don't know how much to charge, and they're just kind of guessing, and it works some jobs they don't, and it's kind of a gamble a lot of times. And it was just because they just didn't want to take the time to sit down and learn the numbers. And I always tell people, when you started doing whatever it is you do great at, whether it's putting in water features, putting in these beautiful hardscapes and designs, or whatever you're doing, you probably weren't great at it at first. You had to learn somewhere. You had to learn at some point, and you had to take the time to, read or research or just get out there and do things before you got good at it and better at it. And same thing here. You have to practice. You have to start somewhere. As we say in our program, do it dirty. You have to just get started somewhere. And this is something you have to do in your numbers. And again, this is one of the things that we see many landscapers they're just afraid of it. They go back to, I'm not smart enough. I just don't know how to do it. I'm here to tell you, you can do it. You are smart enough. You can easily look at your numbers, or even better, you can hire somebody to help you teach you this stuff and educate on how to do this. And there's so many things out there nowadays, as far as the internet and YouTube and all that stuff, you can start learning it. And it's all great. Going back, we hired a business consultant early on, this is 20 years ago. I can't even remember now, that we hired a business consultant to kind of come in because things weren't working well. We we're doing work, we we're busy, but we just didn't, at the end of the year, we didn't have the money that we thought we should. So we hired a consultant. So he started teaching us stuff. And I remember him talking to me and telling me this, some of the stuff. And I was just like, it's like going over my head. I wasn't understanding it. And I did decent in school. I went to college. I took trigonometry and whatever, linear algebra and all that good stuff. I took all that stuff. But some of the stuff they're saying is like, whew, I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And it wasn't till I actually started spending time in learning it and just practicing and playing with it till I started grasping it. And once it hit me, I'm like, wow, we got to change. We got to do stuff. We have to up our estimates. We have to change the way we're figuring things, and we have to figure out what our overhead is. We have to figure out what our equipment costing, what our labor is truly costing it. And it wasn't until that point that we started to make a big change in our business. So again, tonight, I just want to remind you, you can do this stuff. You can change. You can learn this stuff. It's very, very simple. Once you start getting into it, understanding it, learning how it goes together. So one of the things I want to talk to you about was a couple of those numbers, because we see people that say, let me step back here. We see people go in the Facebook groups and post that I need to bid this job. How much should I charge? And people respond with, well, you just need to learn your numbers. You need to learn your numbers. Well, you do. So tonight, I just want to share a couple of those numbers you need to learn. And one of those is labor burden. Now you might be thinking, well, I know I got to charge, the FICA, the FUTA, the SUTA, and all that stuff, whatever your country's tax codes are, depending where you're from. And yeah, I get that, but there's other things that go into that. There's paid time off that goes into it. Any benefits you offer. So if you offer insurance, you give uniforms, PPE, all those types of things. Those are costs that goes into employee. And there's other factors we get into. We're going to be spending some time on going each of these in more depth over the next couple weeks here. The next thing is understanding your equipment costs. And this one's huge shocker to people. Many people don't understand what it costs, or they understand, yeah, it costs, but I'm just not sure how to put it all together. And I'm just going to charge just the flat fee of $100, $200. And I'm hoping it covers it. It should cover some of it. Or I'll charge 1% to my bid and hope that does it. And it might, but it also might not. And it wasn't until, again, we sat down and started figuring out what it costs per hour for each piece of machinery to be able to charge appropriately for this. The next number that you need to understand is your overhead. And now overhead that's basically the cost that goes into running your business. It's kind of the behind the scenes type of stuff. So it's your rent, your utilities, your internet bill, it's your marketing, it's your advertising, it's your website, it's your lawyer, it's your attorney, it's your CPA, any education. It could be your overhead salary. So if you have a bookkeeper, a secretary, it could be your salary as the owner. But those are the key numbers. And basically what I tell people, it's, overhead is a taxation on labor, but it's also the cost that you can't necessarily put on a bill. So you can't just give a customer, put on there 10 plants, 10 trees, and then a bill for our rent. No, you can't do that. They'll throw that bill back in your face. And what the hell's wrong with you? We can't charge for that. So it is a cost that we have to figure out, and we have to figure out a way to charge that appropriately. And, we see many people just take the plants and material and multiply by 2.5, 3. I'm telling you, those numbers don't work. Those are exact same numbers we used 20 plus years ago, and they may work for a little bit, but as you start to grow, you start adding more overhead, more cost. You're just guessing, and probably going to end up coming short. This is where we see many landscapers. They bust their ass all season long. They look like they're making money. They show on their gross profit that they're making money, but at the end of the year, they don't have anything in the bank to show for it. And a lot of times it's either because they're not charging enough for their equipment, they're not charging enough for their overhead, they're not charging enough for their labor. And we don't want you to do that. We don't want you to struggle with trying to put all these numbers together and how to calculate it all up. So this is something that you really want to learn. Like I said, over the next couple of weeks, we are going to be diving into each one of these numbers and giving you some ideas on how to do this. If you want to spend a whole weekend with us, I'm excited to announce on January 21st and 22nd, we're going to be having our profitable estimating course. We previously called it numbers course. It's the same thing, but we spend a whole weekend, and you are going to come out knowing all these numbers. You're going to know down to the penny what you are going to be paying your people. You're going to know what it costs you for your equipment. You're going to know what your overhead is down to the penny. Then we're going to teach you how to take those numbers and we're going to put it into an estimating system. So the first day, we're basically spending the time learning all these numbers and what they are and how to calculate it. And we're giving you all the tools too. We're giving you all the calculators, all the stuff. So basically, it's all plug and play. You put in what you pay for your equipment, how much it costs for maintenance and fuel and all that good stuff. And we'll explain all that. But you put all this in there and it tells you what you need to charge per hour. We're going to give you the tools to figure out what your labor is, what your overhead is. And then we're giving you tools of how to monitor it and teach you how to use that stuff. So, and then, like I said, the second day, we're going to take it. Once we learn all these numbers, now we're going to apply it. We're going to give you estimating systems. So if you're struggling trying to figure out how to charge for all the overhead and account for all that overhead, I should say, and labor and equipment and everything, we're going to give you the estimating sheet. So whether you're doing lawn maintenance, fertilization, irrigation, lighting, landscaping, we have templates that you can apply all this information to and quickly spit out estimates. So it is something that I encourage you guys to get in and learn. Again, it's happening January 21st and 22nd. So I encourage you guys to check it out. It's something that's going to be very, very well worth your time. So it's a whole weekend. What's up, Corey? Appreciate you being here. Corey actually used to be one of our foremans in our business. So I appreciate you being here. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome time. We keep it fun, we keep it energetic, and we keep you moving. And I hope you guys can take the time to join us again. It's January 21st and 22nd. You can learn more information about it at the milliondollarlandscaper.com/early bird, because we are offering early bird pricing right now. We're giving you $200 off right now if you get signed up today. I think that's ending the 14th. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's the 14th at midnight. That deal is done. It goes up to full price. So I'd love to have you guys in here. It is, if you want to make profits at the end of the year, you want to have the life that you want to live, you want to be able to take vacations, give your employees raises. You can't do that unless you're making money. And this program is guaranteed to help you do this. This is a system we've been using in our landscape business for decades. This has been a proven system we've been using with many, many landscapers over and over again. So I hope to have you guys part of this program. Again, last time it's January 21st, 22nd. Head over to milliondollarlandscaper.com/early bird, and I'd love to have you part of this program. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to head out and go have some dinner with the family. Hope you guys have a great night. We'll be talking to you soon. Like I said, we're going to be diving into each of those numbers over the next couple of weeks and teaching a little bit more about it. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to post them in the comments and we'll get you answered. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.